My daughter-in-law Emily dismissively threw my late husband's bracelet on the table, snorting, "What is this garbage?" Her words hit me like a slap in the face. I had just signed the papers to give them an apartment in New York City, the dream of any young couple, and now my kindness was being shattered by their ingratitude. I canceled the gift that night. But this was only the beginning. The betrayal of my loved ones awakened in me not anger, but cold determination. I will plan their regret, step by step, and they will learn what it means to underestimate me. What exactly will I do? They will soon see. Before we continue, please subscribe to the channel and let us know where you are listening in the comments. The restaurant hummed with quiet luxury, crystal glasses catching the light, the faint scent of truffle oil lingering. I sat across from Michael and Emily, my son and his wife, the weight of the moment pressing against my chest. In my hand, I held the silver bracelet, worn, engraved with forever, a gift from my late husband, Richard. I slid it across the table toward Michael, my voice soft but steady. "This was your father's. I want you to have it." Emily's lips curled, a sharp little laugh escaping. "What is this?" She picked it up, dangling it like a cheap trinket. "Some kind of thrift store junk?" The bracelet slipped from her fingers, landing on the linen napkin with a dull clink. My breath caught. Michael's eyes darted to the table, then away. He said nothing. I forced a smile, my fingers tightening around my water glass. "It's a memory, Emily. Of Richard." My voice stayed calm, but inside, I was unraveling. Just yesterday, I'd signed the papers to gift them a Manhattan apartment, $1 million token of my love. Now, Emily's words sliced through that gesture like a blade. She leaned back, her red lipstick gleaming under the chandelier. "Oh, Cynthia, you're so sentimental. But honestly, we were expecting something bigger. You know, like that apartment you mentioned?" Her tone was playful, but her eyes were cold, calculating. Michael shifted in his seat, his fingers twisting his wedding band. "Mom, let's not make a scene," he mumbled, barely meeting my gaze. "A scene?" My son, my only child, sat there as his wife mocked me. The bracelet lay abandoned, its engraving glinting faintly. I stood, smoothing my dress, my heart pounding. "Enjoy your dinner," I said, my voice ice. I walked out, the glass doors of the restaurant swinging shut behind me, the autumn wind biting at my face. In the taxi, the city blurred past, neon signs, yellow cabs, the pulse of Manhattan. I clutched the bracelet, its edges digging into my palm. Richard's voice echoed in my mind, warm and steady, from years ago, "You're stronger than you know, CYN." I'd planned to give them everything. The apartment. My trust. My love. But Emily's sneer, Michael's silence, they'd shattered that. I wouldn't let it stand. The taxi stopped at my building. I stepped into the lobby, the marble floors gleaming under soft lights. In my penthouse, I crossed to the safe, the bracelet still warm in my hand. I placed it inside, the lock clicking shut. My eyes fell on the laptop on my desk. The apartment documents were there, waiting. I opened it, my fingers hovering over the keys. Emily thought she could humiliate me. Michael thought he could stay silent. They were wrong. They'd regret this. The penthouse was silent, save for the faint hum of the city below. I sat by the floor-to-ceiling windows, Manhattan's lights glittering like a cold constellation. The bracelet was locked away, but its weight lingered in my thoughts. Emily's voice, "Thrift store junk," replayed, each word a spark to the fire building inside me. My phone buzzed, snapping me back. A text from Linda, my attorney, "Coffee tomorrow? Need to talk." I typed a quick reply, my fingers steady. The next morning, I stepped into a small cafe downtown, the air thick with the scent of espresso and warm pastries. Wooden tables gleamed under soft lights, and the murmur of the city filtered through the windows. Linda was already there, her sharp eyes scanning a tablet. She looked up, her glasses catching the light. "You look like you're plotting a war," she said, half smiling. I slid into the chair across from her, setting my bag down. Not a war. Justice. My voice was calm, but my fingers twisted my wedding ring, a habit I couldn't shake. Linda raised an eyebrow. Spill it, Cynthia. What's got you this tense? I leaned forward, keeping my tone even. Emily. She called Richard's bracelet trash. Threw it on the table like it was nothing. And Michael just sat there. The words tasted bitter. Linda's smile faded. She leaned back, tapping her pen against the table. That girl's got nerve. And Michael? He's letting her run the show? I nodded, my jaw tight. They were expecting the apartment. I was going to give it to them. Not anymore. Linda's eyes gleamed. Smart. Hit them where it hurts, their wallet. Let me dig into their finances. People like Emily always leave a trail. She paused, her voice softening. You sure about this? Michael's your son. The question stung. I looked out the window, where yellow leaves swirled in the wind. Richard's voice came back, from a night long ago when our business nearly collapsed. Don't let them break you, CYN. I turned back to Linda. I'm sure. Find me something I can use. We finished our coffee, and I stepped outside, the Hudson's breeze tugging at my scarf. Emily's Instagram flashed in my mind, her endless posts of designer bags, champagne brunches. She thought she was untouchable. I pulled out my phone and dialed James, my financial consultant. I need you to look into some assets, I said, my voice firm. Start with Michael and Emily. I hung up, standing on the sidewalk, the city pulsing around me. The wind carried the faint creak of a door closing somewhere nearby. They thought I was weak, a sentimental old woman. They were wrong. The ballroom sparkled, crystal chandeliers casting light over silk gowns and tailored suits. The charity gala buzzed with Manhattan's elite, their laughter mingling with the clink of champagne flutes. I stood near the bar, my navy dress understated but elegant, my eyes scanning the crowd. Then I saw her, Emily, in a red gown that screamed for attention, her laugh too loud, her gestures too grand. She was telling a group about our new apartment, her words dripping with pride. I sipped my wine, my face a mask of calm. Across the room, Caitlin Reed caught my eye. She glided over, her diamond earrings glinting. Cynthia, you look stunning, she purred, but her gaze was on Emily. That one's making quite the show. I smiled, keeping my voice low. She always does. Tell me, Caitlin, what's the word on her? Caitlin's lips curved, predatory. Oh, darling, Emily's spending like she's Rockefeller. Designer bags, private chefs, but word is, she's drowning in credit card debt. Thinks your money's her ticket out. My grip tightened on my glass. Debt. A crack in Emily's perfect facade. Interesting, I murmured. Keep an eye on her, will you? I'd owe you one. Caitlin's eyes sparkled. Consider it done. Emily spotted me then, her smile faltering before she sauntered over. Cynthia. So glad you're here, she said, her voice syrupy. No hard feelings about that bracelet, right? Just a misunderstanding. Her eyes flicked over me, searching for weakness. I met her gaze, my smile cool. None at all, Emily. I hope you're ready for surprises. Her brow twitched, but she laughed, brushing her hair back. Always am. She turned away, rejoining her group, but her posture was stiffer now. I drifted to the balcony, the city sprawling below, its lights sharp against the night. The wind was cold, tugging at my shawl. I thought of Michael, standing in a corner earlier, his shoulders slumped. I'd given up my career for him, poured everything into his future. And now? He let Emily spit on that. My phone buzzed. A text from Linda, got something on Emily's finances. Call me. I stared at the screen, my pulse quickening. The ballroom doors opened behind me, voices spilling out. I slipped the phone into my purse and turned back to the gala, my steps firm. The game had begun. James's office was a fortress of glass and steel, the Manhattan skyline sprawling beyond the windows. I sat across from him. My hands folded, as he slid a folder across the polished desk. "Your son and his wife," he said, his voice dry, "are a financial mess." The pages detailed Emily's credit card debt, thousands spent on handbags, shoes, brunches she couldn't afford. Michael, my Michael, had taken loans for a tech startup that reeked of failure. I scanned the numbers, my jaw tight. "Are they counting on my money?" I asked. James leaned back, his pen clicking. "Heavily. Your trust funds their lifeline." His smirk was sharp, almost amused. I nodded, my fingers brushing the bracelet in my purse. "Check how deep their dependence runs," I said. "I want options." My phone buzzed as I left the office. Michael's name flashed on the screen. I hesitated, then answered. "Mom, I need to talk," he said, his voice strained. "I'm in a bind. Can you loan me 50 grand? It's for a project, a big one." I stared at the skyscrapers, their reflections cold and unyielding. "I'm sorry, Michael," I said, my tone even. "I'm stretched thin myself." Silence. Then, "What? You're joking, right?" His disbelief stung, but I held firm. "No. I'm not." I hung up, my pulse steady. I took a cab to Linda's law firm, the city blurring past. Her office smelled of old books and coffee, the wooden desk cluttered with files. She looked up, her glasses glinting. "You look like you've declared war," she said. I sat, smoothing my scarf. "Not war. Strategy." I told her about Michael's call, Emily's debts, James's report. Linda's eyes narrowed. "We can freeze parts of the trust. Make it untouchable. They'll feel the squeeze." Her voice was crisp, professional. I nodded, but a flicker of doubt crept in. Michael's voice, so desperate, echoed in my mind. Was I too harsh? I thought of the bracelet, Emily's sneer, Michael's silence. No. They'd earned this. "Do it," I said. Linda scribbled a note. "This'll hit them hard, Cynthia." "You sure?" I met her gaze. "I'm sure." My phone pinged as we spoke, Michael again, a text, "You're abandoning me." "Thanks, Mom." The words cut, but I shoved them aside. I stood, clutching my purse, the bracelet's weight grounding me. Outside, the wind howled between buildings, the pavement slick from rain. I checked my phone again, a missed call from Caitlin. I slipped into a taxi, the city's pulse thrumming around me. They didn't know what they'd lost yet. The restaurant on the Upper East Side was warm, candlelight flickering across white tablecloths, the air laced with rosemary and wine. I sat across from Linda, picking at my salad, Michael's text still burning in my mind, "You're abandoning me." Doubt gnawed at me. Was I pushing him too far? Linda's sharp gaze caught mine. "You're miles away, Cynthia." "What's wrong?" I set my fork down, the clink soft against the plate. "Michael called yesterday. Begged for money." I said no. My voice was steady, but my fingers twisted my napkin. Linda sipped her tea, her eyes narrowing. "Good. He needs to learn." "But that's not all, is it?" I sighed, leaning back. "It's Emily. The bracelet. The way she looked at me, like I was nothing. And Michael just sat there." Linda's lips twitched, almost a smile. "So you're teaching them a lesson. Smart. Let's make it stick." She pulled out a file, sliding it toward me. "Emily's debts, credit cards, loans, even a leased car she can't afford. Her wardrobe's worth more than their rent." I flipped through the pages, the numbers stark. "She's a walking facade," Linda added, her tone dry. "We can lock down the trust tighter. A power of attorney, maybe. Cut their access completely." I nodded, my doubt fading. I thought of Richard, years ago, spinning me under a rainy sky, laughing as we danced. "You're unstoppable, CYN," he'd said. That strength was still in me. "Draft the papers," I told Linda. "But keep it quiet. I don't want Michael suspecting yet." She grinned, scribbling a note. "You're playing chess, not checkers." "I like it." We finished lunch, and I stepped outside, the autumn air crisp. I walked through Central Park, leaves crunching under my boots, their golden hues drifting like scattered thoughts. My purse felt heavy, the bracelet inside a quiet reminder. I'd built this life for Michael. For us, and they'd spat on it. No more. My phone buzzed, a text from Michael: "Can we meet? Please." I stopped, the wind rustling through the trees. I stared at the screen, my thumb hovering. He was my son. My only child. But Emily's voice, her sneer, drowned out his plea. I slipped the phone back into my purse, the leaves swirling around me. He might still surprise me. The Brooklyn apartment was a far cry from my penthouse, cramped, with a sagging couch and boxes stacked in corners. The air smelled of stale coffee and regret. I stood in the living room, my coat still on, as Emily bustled about, her smile forced. "Cynthia, so good you came," she said, her voice too bright. Michael slouched by the window, his shirt wrinkled, eyes shadowed. I sat, crossing my legs, my purse on my lap. "You wanted to talk," I said, my tone neutral. Emily perched on the couch, her manicured nails tapping. "We just thought, we could clear the air. About the money thing." Her eyes flicked to Michael, sharp. He cleared his throat. "Mom, you've always helped out. Why the cold shoulder now?" I leaned forward, my voice calm but pointed. "I was planning to give you the Manhattan apartment. But there are legal complications. It might go to another beneficiary." Emily's face froze, her lips parting. "What?" she snapped. "You can't be serious." Michael's head jerked up. "Mom, what's going on?" I shrugged, my eyes steady. "Just paperwork. You know how these things are." Emily turned on Michael, her voice rising. "This is your fault. You said she'd come through." He flinched, his hands raised. Calm down," but she cut him off, glaring at me. "You're just hoarding it all, aren't you? Keeping us begging." I stood, my purse clutched tight, the bracelet inside grounding me. "You called Richard's bracelet trash, Emily. You don't get to demand anything." Her eyes widened, then narrowed. "That was a mistake. You're punishing us for one stupid moment?" Michael stepped forward, his voice cracking. "Mom, you're manipulating us. This isn't you." I met his gaze, my heart twisting but my resolve firm. Richard's words flashed through me, from a fight long ago: "Stand your ground, CYN. Always." I walked to the door, pausing. "You'll see what you've lost soon enough." Emily's shout followed me. "You're a selfish old woman." I shut the door, the sound final. In the car, the leather seats cool against my back, I checked my phone. A text from Caitlin: "Heard something juicy about Emily. Call me." I smiled, my fingers tracing the bracelet's outline in my purse. Their world was cracking, and I'd only just begun. The cemetery was hushed, gray headstones half hidden in morning mist. I stood before Richard's grave, the bracelet cold in my hand, its silver catching the weak October light. Leaves crunched underfoot, carried by a restless wind. My fight with Michael and Emily still burned, her venom, his silence. I traced the engraving, "Forever," and whispered, "You'd be proud, Richard." "I'm not breaking." A soft cough startled me. Ruth, an old friend from Richard's days, stood nearby, her scarf fluttering. "Cynthia, I didn't expect you here," she said, her voice warm but curious. I slipped the bracelet into my purse, forcing a smile. "Just visiting." Ruth stepped closer, her eyes kind. "I heard about Emily. Word spreading, financial troubles, overspending. People are talking." I kept my face neutral, but my pulse quickened. Caitlin's work. Is that so? I asked, my tone light. Ruth nodded, leaning in. She's losing her shine. Invitations drying up. Caitlin's been vocal. Her gaze lingered, searching. I met it, steady. Keep me posted, Ruth. I'd appreciate it. She squeezed my arm, promising to call. Alone again, I walked to my car, the gravel crunching under my boots. Richard's voice echoed from years ago, after a business deal went sour, wait for the right moment, CYN. It always comes. I dialed Caitlin, my voice crisp. The rumors are working. Push harder. Focus on Emily's spending, make it sting. Caitlin's laugh was sharp, gleeful. Oh, I'm on it. She's crumbling. I slid into the car, the leather seats cool, and started the engine. Ruth's text pinged, more gossip about Emily. Call me. A thrill ran through me. The plan was moving, piece by piece. I drove toward Manhattan, the autumn trees a blur of gold and red outside the window. Richard had taught me patience, and now it was paying off. Emily thought she could mock me. Michael thought he could stay silent. They were wrong. My phone vibrated again, Linda, with news about the assets. I gripped the wheel, the city skyline looming ahead. Let them think they're still in control. In my penthouse, the marble table gleamed under soft light, a glass of Pinot Noir untouched beside me. Caitlin's text glowed on my phone, Emily's a laughingstock. Lost her invite to the Met Gala. Her Insta's a war zone. I leaned back, a smile tugging at my lips. The city sparkled beyond the windows, cold and sharp, mirroring my resolve. Emily's world was cracking, just as I'd planned. Caitlin called, her voice dripping with delight. She flipped out at Lou Bernardine yesterday. Screamed about a conspiracy. Through a wine glass. I pictured Emily, her perfect facade shattering. Good, I said, my tone even. Spread a new rumor. Say she's hiding money troubles from Michael. Let it burn. Caitlin chuckled. You're wicked, Cynthia. I love it. I hung up, sipping my wine, when Linda texted, Michael's loan application tanked. Banks flagged him, bad rep. My fingers tightened around the glass. Every move was hitting its mark. I stood, pacing, the bracelet in my purse a quiet weight. They'd underestimated me, and now they were paying. Caitlin had arranged a chance meeting at a midtown bistro, and I spotted Michael there, slumped at a corner table, his tie loose. I approached, my heels clicking on the hardwood. Michael, I said, feigning surprise. He looked up, his eyes bloodshot. Mom, thank God. We're drowning. The loans, Emily's spending, help us, please. I sat, folding my hands. You mean the wife who called your father's bracelet trash? The son who said nothing? My voice was ice. His face crumpled. I messed up, okay? I'm sorry. Just, fix this. I leaned forward, my gaze steady. You fix it, Michael. I'm done cleaning your messes. I stood, smoothing my dress. His voice broke. Mom, don't do this. I walked out, the restaurant's chatter fading behind me. Richard's words rang clear, from a late-night argument years ago, don't let them twist you, CYN stay sharp. I had. The street was slick with rain, the wind biting at my face. My phone buzzed, James, with news about the assets. I slipped it into my purse, my steps firm. They were falling, and I wouldn't stop. The restaurant was a cocoon of elegance, crystal glasses glinting, the scent of truffles heavy in the air. I sat between Linda and James, the table a war room disguised as a dinner. My mind churned over Michael's plea, a flicker of guilt stirring. Was I pushing too far? Linda caught my pause, her emerald dress catching the light. You're brooding, Cynthia. Out with it. I sipped my water, the glass cool against my palm. Michael's hurting. I wonder if I'm too cruel. Linda snorted, leaning back. Cruel? After Emily's stunt with the bracelet? You're giving them a mirror. James smirked, his watch flashing as he gestured. Their accounts are frozen, my doing, per your orders. Emily's begging banks for loans. They're saying no. I nodded, the guilt fading. What's next? Linda slid a folder across the table. The apartment. Sell it. Funnel the money to a charity. They'll feel that. James leaned in, his voice low. I can set up a meeting with Michael. Let him hear it from you. Twist the knife. I considered it, my fingers brushing my purse, the bracelet inside. Richard's voice echoed, from a quiet evening long ago, use what you have, CYN, but keep your soul. Sell the apartment, I said. Set up the fund. And James, arrange that meeting. Linda grinned, raising her glass. To justice. We clinked, but my mind was racing. Emily's sneer, Michael's silence, they'd earned this. I was no longer the mother who fixed their mistakes. I was the woman who'd outplayed them. We finished dinner, and I stepped into the night, Manhattan's neon glow pulsing around me. The wind tugged at my scarf, sharp and alive. My phone buzzed, Caitlin. Texting, Emily had a meltdown at a gallery. Screamed about betrayal. I smiled, clutching my purse, the bracelet's weight steadying me. The end was near, and I was ready. The penthouse was still, the marble floors gleaming under soft lights. I stood by the panoramic window, clutching the documents that sealed the apartment's sale. The city sprawled below, its pulse steady, matching my resolve. Michael and Emily were due any moment, thinking I'd called them to reconcile. They were wrong. The bracelet rested in my purse, a silent witness to my triumph. The doorbell chimed. I opened the door, my face a mask of calm. Emily stepped in, her tight dress clinging to her frame, her eyes darting nervously. Michael followed, his shoulders slumped, his suit rumpled. Thanks for inviting us, Mom, he said, his voice strained. Emily forced a smile. Yeah, let's clear things up. I gestured to the couch, sitting across from them, the documents in my lap. I've made a decision, I said, my tone even. The apartment's sold. The money's gone to a charity. Emily's jaw dropped, her hands gripping the couch. You what? She shrieked. That was ours. Michael's face paled. Mom, you can't mean that. I leaned forward, my gaze cold. You called Richard's bracelet trash, Emily. You sat silent, Michael. You chose this. Emily sprang up, her purse crashing to the floor, spilling lipsticks and keys. You're a monster. You stole our future. Her voice cracked, her hands clawing at her hair. Michael grabbed her arm. Stop. He turned to me, his eyes pleading. Mom, please. We're sorry. Undo it. I stood, the documents crinkling in my hand. You undid yourselves. My voice was steel. I walked to the balcony door, needing air. Emily's screams followed me. You'll regret this, Cynthia. Michael's voice broke. Mom, don't do this to us. I didn't turn back. On the balcony, the wind stung my face, the city's lights glittering like a challenge. I clutched the bracelet, its edges sharp. Richard's words echoed from years ago, after a betrayal by a friend, hold your dignity, CYN. It's worth more than their tears. I'd held it. My phone buzzed, Linda, confirming the sale's completion. I slipped it into my purse, my heart steady. They'd try to crawl back, but I was ready. The penthouse was quiet, the documents for the charity fund spread across my desk. I traced the numbers, each one a brick in the wall I'd built against Michael and Emily. The doorbell's sharp ring cut through my thoughts. I frowned, crossing to the door. Michael and Emily stood there, uninvited. Emily's simple dress hung loosely, her eyes red. Michael's old jacket sagged, his face etched with exhaustion. Mom, can we talk? Michael asked, his voice low. I stepped aside, gesturing them in. Emily clasped her hands, her voice soft. Cynthia, I'm sorry. About the bracelet. Everything. Her eyes shimmered, but her jaw twitched, a tell. Michael nodded. I messed up, Mom. I should have stood up for you. Please, give us another chance. I sat, the bracelet in my hand, its silver cool against my skin. You think words fix this? My tone was measured, but my pulse quickened. Emily leaned forward, her voice pleading. I've changed, I swear. We'll make it right. Michael's eyes met mine, raw. I remember when you'd read to me at night, Mom. We were close. We can be again. I looked away, Richard's voice surfacing from a memory, sharp and clear. Don't fall for crocodile tears, CYN. See the truth. Emily's apology was a performance. Michael's regret, though real, came too late. I stood, the bracelet glinting. It's over. The apartment's gone. You're not my burden anymore. Emily's face twisted. You're heartless, she spat. Michael grabbed her arm. Enough. She's right, we screwed up. His voice cracked, but I turned away, my hand on the door. Leave. They shuffled out, Emily's sobs echoing in the hall. I shut the door, the lock clicking like a gavel. The silence settled, heavy. I crossed to the window, Manhattan's lights pulsing below. My victory was complete, yet Michael's words lingered, a faint ache. My phone buzzed, Caitlin, with news about Emily. I opened the message, the wind howling outside. Their end had come, but mine hadn't. The balcony air was sharp, the wind carrying the city's hum. I stood gripping the railing, Caitlin's message glowing on my phone. Emily left Michael. Blamed him for everything. Her rep's toast, galleries won't touch her. I exhaled, a weight lifting. Emily was gone, her world shattered. Michael was alone, his mistakes his only company. The bracelet dangled in my hand, its engraving catching the moonlight. I'd won. I stepped inside, the penthouse warm, the lamp casting shadows across Richard's photo on the desk. I opened the safe, the bracelet's weight familiar. Linda called, her voice brisk. The funds are in the charity account. Michael's job's gone, fired for financial irregularities. It's done, Cynthia. I nodded, though she couldn't see. Thank you, Linda. I sat, pulling out paper and pen. The words came slowly, a letter to Michael. You chose her over me, over Dad's memory. I had to show you what that cost. My hand shook, memories of his childhood flooding in, his small hand in mine, his laughter in the park. I folded the letter, slipping it into the safe. Some truths didn't need sending. Richard's voice echoed, from a night we'd faced ruin, you're my strength, CYN. Always will be. He'd be proud. I'd turned their greed against them, reclaimed my dignity. Now, I wanted more. Europe beckoned, Paris, Rome, a new chapter. I'd book the tickets tomorrow. Back on the balcony, the city glittered, vast and alive. I set the bracelet on the table, its silver a quiet farewell to the past. My phone buzzed, James, with a new charity project. I smiled, closing the balcony door, the wind's howl fading. I was free, and this was just the start. If you liked this story, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share your impressions of this story in the comments. To listen to the next story, click on the box on the left. Thank you for watching.